Hey guys, what's going on? So I just got my supplements in the mail today from Beachbody, and it occurred to me that I haven't really done anything on my Facebook page really to talk about supplements at all. And so a lot of guys, especially if you're doing weight routines, are kind of curious about supplements, what ones are good, what to look for, what to consider. And so I decided I was going to do a live video of me unboxing my supplements, what I use, and talk a little bit about it. If you want more information on supplements, head over to my website, brianfurnessfitness.com, and I've actually got a blog post right now on protein powder and amino acids, and then I've also got a video on creatine, and I'm working on writing more videos on different supplements, specifically going into different protein powders and stuff like that. So all that to say, let's get into the box. So this is 3 supplements, comes in a little box. It's not bad at all. A lot of times, at least when I first started ordering these, I was under the impression I was going to have to dedicate an entire cabinet to supplements because of the container sizes. That's not necessarily true. So that's what I've got. The first one is creatine. Creatine is something that you're going to take for the purpose of increasing the amount of energy that you have during a workout. The careful thing you have to, let's see if I can formulate a sentence here. What you have to understand is creatine is not something that is going to give you unbelievable Hulk-like power during the workout. It's also not going to take a cardio session where you burn out in 20 minutes and turn it into 45 to an hour. Creatine works on a smaller scale. The way creatine works is there's a particular molecule in your body that feeds energy to your cells. It's called ATP. And what creatine does is allows ATP to be created more efficiently by the body. So it means you get more energy during the workout. So what that translates to in reality is if you're doing a weight training session, you might be doing 10 to 12 reps at a time, and instead you might do 15 to 17 reps, maybe eke out 20. Which doesn't sound like a lot until you consider that if you're doing 10 reps to begin with and you can get out another 5 reps, that's a 50% increase, which is substantial in those terms. So the way creatine works as well, you have what's called a loading phase, and you'll take 5 grams 4 times a day for the first week. And what you're doing is you're saturating your cells with creatine. And then you go into the maintaining phase. The maintaining phase is literally you're just keeping your cells at the level of saturation. You're not allowing your creatine levels to drop to pre-supplement levels. Which, by the way, I know this is a little lengthy on creatine. You can get a lot more of this in the blog post. But real quick, you naturally produce creatine, just not nearly to the levels that you can get to with supplementing. So that's why you take creatine powder. So that's creatine. I take that 2 to 3 grams a day is my maintaining amount. A lot of people say 5. When you really start doing the homework and the research, you figure out that 5 is only necessary if you are like a top-notch athlete and you're turning over muscle fiber like crazy. Clearly, someone who's working out 30 minutes to an hour and a half a day is not nearly at that peak level. So 2 to 3 grams during your maintaining phase is plenty. And then if you hear anyone talk about cycling with this stuff, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. You don't need to cycle with creatine. You can just maintain on creatine. Cycling doesn't do anything for you. It's actually a waste of your money to cycle. Read more about that on the blog post. So that's creatine. The next workout supplement I have is my pre-workout. This is Beachbody's Energize formula. And the reason I went with this, there are a lot of pre-workouts on the market. One of the biggest ones is, I believe it's called C+. I can't remember offhand now that I'm live on a video. But there's a ton to choose from, and you'll hear people say that you can do ridiculous godlike things on pre-workout supplements. And it's true. Those claims are not just completely off the wall. Pre-workout supplements have stimulants in it. They've got some branched-chain amino acids in them. And then they've got some other compounds that are made to help you with your mental focus. And so where you feel it and what really kicks in are the stimulants. One of the big ones is caffeine. Beta-alanine is another one. And it absolutely makes a difference. I saw a post from a guy the other day that said when he takes his Energize, he feels like Superman, and it's true. You get this weird tingling. That's not unhealthy. It's not bad for you. That's actually a side effect of the beta-alanine. But you get this tingling sensation. You get really energized. You get really almost hyper, like you've had like 2 cups of coffee. And so it's super helpful, and it can absolutely increase your stamina to take pre-workout. That being said, the reason I went with Beachbody's, there are absolutely more powerful pre-workouts on the market that will do substantially more for you than Beachbody's formula. However, if you go read the warnings on those supplements, they are a laundry list that is just outrageously long. Stuff like, if you take any medication, don't use this. For females, it doesn't really apply to us males, but if you're breastfeeding or if you're pregnant or might become pregnant, don't take this. If you have elevated blood pressure, are on any blood pressure medications, blah, blah, blah. Just a huge list of medications that you cannot take this if you're on these medications. So that already, I was kind of like, I don't know. And then finally, the last one that I really read that made me decide to steer away from the C Plus Max or whatever it's called is don't take for more than I can't remember if it was 14 or 21 days straight. No thanks. If you got something that's going to make your heart race like a freaking race, stallion, and it's going to be detrimental to my health, it doesn't matter the gains that I'm getting out of it. If I'm putting my body at risk, then I'm kind of defeating what I'm doing in the first place. I'm in this to be fit. I'm in this to be healthy. I have supplements that will help me in that. I'm not going to take a supplement that's going to, cause me to go into the hospital with heart failure because I wanted to lift, 15% more weight. There's people they're fine with that, and they're fine taking the risks. Go for it by all means. But for me, this gets the job done, and I don't have to worry about my health because of it. So that's my pre-workout creatine. And my final supplement that I get from Beachbody is my Recover protein shake. And this is quick release protein. Quick release proteins you take right after your workout. That's really up for debate on whether it's right after your workout. Another blog post. I'll link to that at some point when I write that blog post. But traditionally there's a post-workout window of about a half hour that you're supposed to drink your post-workout shake. What this does is these quick-release proteins are able to be broken down by the body really quick. You have a spike in your blood of amino acids. If you don't know what protein and amino acids are, no problem. I'm going to link to my blog post that explains that in kind of layman's terms. I'll put that down in the comments. But basically this is broken down by the body really quickly so that you get an amino acid spike about 45 minutes after you've drinking the shake. And what that causes the body to do is your body has already gone into repair mode after a workout. That soreness, you've been ripping muscle fibers. It's physically tearing your muscle fibers. And so your body goes into repair mode. Well, when you give it an amino acid spike, it goes into ultra repair mode and goes, we've got to really start making the proteins. And so this is one of the most important supplements for someone who is working out in general, but especially if you're wanting to do any sort of muscle building or bulking, this is the most important supplement. You've got to have enough protein in your diet, and you need to have a quick release formula that's going to cause those spikes to happen, that's going to get your body into the protein synthesis mode, that's going to build more muscle, it's going to bulk you up, it's going to make you stronger. So the other reason I chose this from Beachbody is because you have to be careful with protein formulas that are out there on the market. You can absolutely hands down find cheaper proteins on the market. I will not argue with that at all. Beachbody is one of the pricier ones. That being said, you need to check the ingredients list, because what you run into is you get these dirty proteins that if you don't use a very pure source of protein, You can have, X amount of grams of protein powder in your actual powder that's, whey protein is typically what it is. You can have X amount of grams of whey protein, but if it's not processed the correct way and if it's not the right type of delivery system, then you're throwing away part of that protein and it's not doing what it needs to do. So that's one thing, is Beachbody's got a really clean formula when it comes to their actual protein. The other thing you have to look out for is fillers and sweeteners. Fillers, a lot of times, is flat out powdered coffee creamer. And it's there to kind of give it flavoring and stuff like that. And it's not beneficial. It's really, if you're tracking your calories and your protein intake, you're actually taking in empty calories because it's just coffee creamer and it's not going to do crap for you. So, again, this is a clean formula. It's not chock full of a bunch of fillers. And finally, the sweeteners. If you're taking in sugar is empty calories that's just going to make you hungry. That's why a lot of times, you get these cheaper protein formulas. You do your protein shake, and then 45 minutes to an hour later, you're hungry again. You just took in 24 grams of freaking protein. Why are you hungry again? It's because of the sugar. The sugar that they use to sweeten and flavor it is actually detrimental to what you're trying to accomplish. And these formulas don't use sugar. And when I say sugar, there's sweeteners in it, but they're natural sweeteners. They're not we're not talking about raw cane sugar. We're not talking about, white processed sugar, anything like that. Heaven forbid, high fructose corn syrup. If you find anything like that in a protein, just walk away from it. So it's a clean formula. It's got clean sweeteners in it that aren't going to cause, huge insulin spikes and cause you to crash afterwards. So, protein powder, pre-workout, creatine, those are my supplements. Other supplements you might consider that I'm actually considering adding are, you can get branched chain amino acids that are in powdered form. What that is it's proteins that are already broken down into the amino acids. And it allows your body to absorb them substantially quicker. And generally when you would take that is during your workout. So if you have like a during workout formula, instead of just drinking water, you would add everyone calls them BCAAs. You add your BCAAs to your, during the workout formula, and you drink that. And the benefits there are it decreases fatigue during your workout, so you've got a little more endurance. And then it also reduces delayed onset muscle soreness. And I haven't personally done it yet. It's something I plan on incorporating here shortly. But I do know some guys personally that take them, and they say it absolutely does help with the delayed onset muscle soreness. So that's something else you might consider adding to your supplements. And then finally, this is a quick release protein powder. You might consider doing a slow release protein powder, like a casein protein powder. And that's something that you would take about a half hour before you go to bed. And what that does is allow the slow release of amino acids into your system overnight. And the idea there is it keeps your body from cannibalizing existing muscle tissue to repair damaged muscle tissue overnight. Because overnight is when your body goes into kind of super repair mode. And so if you don't provide your body what it needs to do those repairs, it will go find those necessary amino acids elsewhere, and a lot of times that's from existing muscle. It'll just take from here and there. And so the net result is you don't get any real gains out of it because you're utilizing existing muscle to repair damaged muscle. And so by getting a casein protein, a slow release protein formula, and drinking that before bed, it kind of helps prevent some of that cannibalism. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, any suggestions for other supplements to try, absolutely drop a comment. Shoot me a message if you are more comfortable doing that, if you've got more questions. I'll put the link to that, the protein article, and I've also got an article on creatine from my website. I'll put those down in the comments, and I appreciate you guys watching. We'll talk to you guys later.